Let's move on to Africa. Ethiopian police officials in Amara region in the north confirmed Sunday evening that 7 people were killed when worshippers celebrating the Epiphany holiday clashed with security forces. The killings on Saturday in the town of Waldia, some 500 kilometers north of the capital Addis Ababa, happened on the second day of the colorful Epiphany celebrations in Ethiopia. I've spoken about this frequently in October 2016 when they imposed the state of emergency. I said that the government need to change tack and effect a course correction, and history shows us that this course correction is one of the most difficult things to pull off. Mnangagwa's New Zimbabwe merits support, says the FT. And that's indeed high praise. Deeply compromised as he is by years as one of Mr. Mugabe's chief lieutenants, he deserves a hearing, but also a clear message that he will be judged by his actions. Mr. Mnangagwa's very appearance at Davos is a sign of change. It's a fact. Saying this year's election will be a crucial test. Mnangagwa's promise of democracy will be strengthened and respected. He told the FT election monitors from the EU, the UN and the Commonwealth would be welcome. He should be held to his word. He must allow the formation of an independent election commission and wipe the electoral lists of dead voters. Saying that Mnangagwa is calculating that if the election is fair, he will be swept to victory on a tide of optimism amid opposition disarray. The distinct possibility makes it all the more important for the West to prod Zimbabwe in the right direction. Daily Mail, however, says ruthless new leader of Zimbabwe being welcomed by global elite in Davos despite links to decades of repression and genocide alongside predecessor Robert Mugabe. Very soon the UN and the international community will have to decide whether it can support an electoral process in which all peaceful demonstrations are banned. This is the DRC Congo. That's Jason Stans. WTB Klaus, who writes for Bloomberg, says beautifully put, it's a tricky choice, but there needs to be a reckoning because it doesn't look like the guys in charge can be persuaded, forced to play nice or by the rules, even the teeniest bit. VTB, the Russian bank, says it's in talks to prolong Angola's $1.5 billion loan to 10 years. Angola's central bank may begin the process of fully floating its Kwanza currency in 3 months' time, bank's governor Jose Massano said. The bank will evaluate the new regime after 3 months, and the central bank governor, this path should lead to the adoption of a fully floating exchange rate, the newspaper said. It did not quote him directly. Since the peg was abandoned, the Kwanza has lost over 20% of its value to the dollar. It is as if Cyril is confirming that he has taken over the reins, said Susan Buisen, a political science professor at the University of Witwatersrand. I would say Zuma will be gone in anything between 10 and 30 days maximum. I wrote on the 18th of December, will it be 1994 all over again? We can all remember the moment when Nelson Mandela came out of prison, blinking in the sunlight and assumed leadership. Ramaphosa could well be the ignition for returning South Africa back to that incredible moment, full of promise. Global investors, I said, will surely buy the rand by the bucket load, and we could see a further meaningful rally in the order of 10% towards 12. I'm now looking for 11. Dollar rand, this is a chart from Karen Richards. My target is 11. South African all share up 2.61% year to date. South African stocks are more popular than ever before. This is via Bloomberg. Nigerian Central Bank unable to meet holds rate of 14%. The African Development Bank is to increase Nigerian loans by $2 billion. Nigeria's diaspora remitted $22 billion to Nigeria in 2017. That is almost Kenya's entire budget for 2018. Nigerian all share up 17.44% year to date, best performing stock index in the world bar none. Bank of Ghana held its key interest rate as inflation persists. The Ghana Stock Exchange is up 11.9% year to date.